Well, today is March 11th, and we have been in Berlin for 4 weeks exactly. Basically, this week has been getting all of my pain minimizer supports that I needed that I haven't had. So, humidifier, back pillow, insoles, memory foam pillow for sleeping, just basic stuff. And my life is already so much better. I have a computer set up now that I can record at. I managed to get most of my meds sorted. That was a whole ordeal. It was really a complicated thing, but now I have 3 pieces of paper, well, 4 pieces of paper that are just like the most important papers in my life right now, because these are the things that are gonna let me stay medicated. I got almost everything transferred over except for dicyclamine and my testosterone, which is kind of problematic. And I need to talk to a pharmacist about some of the other things because apparently, at least at the doctor's office that I visited, getting Wellbutrin in 75 milligrams isn't a thing. They only have 150, so I'll need to make sure that those pills can be cut. The naltrexone that I'm taking for my fibro, I'm taking 50 milligrams a week, a little bit less than that. What happens is in the US, they don't, at least in California, they don't have naltrexone in low doses. So the solution to having naltrexone in a low dose is to take a 50 milligram pill, put it in some water, and then have 4.5 milligrams every night. It's this really gross kind of liquid pill thing, and in Germany they have it in low doses. So I need to talk to a pharmacist to see about maybe getting it in pill form in a low dose so I don't have to keep making the weird liquid. And dicyclamine is a medication that relaxes the muscles in your gut. It's for IBS, and they don't have that here in Germany. Just it doesn't exist. But there is apparently some kind of probiotic that acts similarly. So I need to talk to a pharmacist about that. And then for my testosterone, the doctor knows that gels in pumps exist, but when she was searching for it to get it transcribed, she didn't see the gels in the pump that I need, which is a very precise amount. There was only like tubes or patches, so she didn't transcribe that because that would have messed up with my dose, and that's she's not a trans physician, so better to not mess with that, which is fine because I have an appointment in May with someone who is a trans specialist. So I can deal with that then, and I have enough testosterone to last me until that appointment at least. So yeah, I have most of my meds transcribed. The problem is that I'm technically insured on my partner's health insurance, but I don't have any of that information yet, so I'm treated as if I'm uninsured. So all of these scripts, at least until I get insurance, I have to pay for out of pocket, which varies in cost, but it'll be worth it. The most important thing is that I got my Ritalin refilled, and I do have to find a psychiatrist in order to continue to stay on it. But since I already had a script and I only had like a week of Ritalin, the doctor that I saw was able to put together a refill for me. So I think I have like a month or two of that so I can get into seeing a psychiatrist. But that's interesting because it's on a fancy piece of paper, and there's like a copy, there's like an original and then a duplicate. So like the pharmacist gets one, and then the government of Germany also gets one because Ritalin is also a regulated drug here, even though I'm taking like 5 milligrams. And that may also have to be cut. They might not have 5 milligrams. They might only have 10. So complicated. The whole process was really so much. It was a lot. The doctor spoke some English. The receptionist spoke some English. It was really confusing. I had to basically like put all my health information on like the back of the form because I couldn't read the form. And then I brought all my stuff in, and then the doctor's like, so what can I do? I went in for a consult, so I didn't have to pay a copay, or maybe they just don't pay. I don't really know. That's later on. And I was like, so basically I just moved here and I just need to get my meds refilled. And so I handed her my bag of all of my medications, and she was like, none of this is in German. And I was like, yeah, I moved here in February. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she pulls out another one. She's like, this isn't in German. I'm like, no, I moved here literally like 3 weeks ago. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing a doctor, and they're not in German because you're the person who gets to translate them. So she did manage to do that. Some of them were easier than others. Gabapentin is easy to find here. Amlodipine is easy to find here. Buspar is also pretty easy. So most of my stuff is taken care of, and I can just walk into a pharmacy with my precious pieces of paper, and they will fill it for me, and then I will pay them money, and I should be set. Hopefully. I don't really know what comes next. I guess I have to find a psychiatrist and find someone to be like my primary care doctor, but all of that will be easier once I have my actual health insurance information, which is what's complicated. So in Germany, you have to have health insurance. If your spouse gets a job and has health insurance, then you are automatically added to your spouse's like insurance. But the problem with that is it's not really designed very well for immigrants. So like I have to have a social security number in order to get health insurance. But the thing is, like, I don't get a social security number given to me automatically because I don't have my own health insurance plan. So I had to email the German government and ask them to assign me a social security number so I can be added to the health insurance that I'm technically automatically added to. So, yeah, it's really confusing, bureaucratic nonsense. So I'm currently waiting. It was really easy. I sent them an email. I sent them the Anmeldung, and I sent them our marriage license and my passport, and was like, here is the information. I'm here. I'm married. This is where we live. Please send me a social security number. So a couple days later, they emailed me and were like, cool, we are putting you in the system, and you should get your social security number in the mail. So now I'm just waiting for the social security number to come in the mail, and then I can get added to my partner's health insurance, and then I can get my own little ID card, and then I can find doctors who I can hopefully communicate with. That's the really stressful thing, is like, I don't know how to describe, like, one, I don't know how to pronounce my medications in German, because Ritalin is not the way you say Ritalin here. It's like Ritalin. And like, I don't know how to pronounce my conditions. I had to explain what the C was in CPTSD because whatever source the doctor here was using didn't have chronic or complex post-traumatic stress, just PTSD. So there's a lot of just like language barriers because I'm not great at pronouncing things in German, and I don't have enough of the language to describe like my fibro symptoms, or like what kind of pain I'm in, or like to even remember the word for pain. So that's just like complicated stuff. But the insurance group or whatever that we're going with, which is TK, I'm not even going to try to pronounce what that stands for, is known to have like very good English speaking doctors, and I think it's pretty decent with trans care. So I'll find a doctor through their network, and hopefully they will be able to communicate with me, and I'll be able to communicate with them, so I can like keep getting better and healing, and hopefully sort out the last like third of my pain management that really needs to be sorted out. I did not try to bring up dealing with pain in the consults. My entire goal was just to get my Ritalin refilled and just to get like as many medications as I could get refilled because I still have like a couple months back up, except for my Ritalin, and now that's taken care of. So I have like I can have a brain again. Like since we moved here, I have been rationing my Ritalin because I did not manage to get that filled before we moved, and I wanted to be able to have it when I needed it. So now I have a prescription that I can take to a pharmacy, and I can have a brain again. I don't have to ration my last week of meds. I can just go get it done, and hopefully I will find an English speaking pharmacist so I can figure out like what to do with my other stuff, because I need to figure out what to do about not having dicyclamine because that makes eating possible. And I would love to be able to have low dose naltrexone that I don't have to drink every night before bed. I would also like to have testosterone in the form that I currently have it. And I would like to make sure that my antidepressants can either be like halved or like something, because if I go over 100 milligrams on Wellbutrin, then my anxiety skyrockets. So I was like, I have everything at the level that I need, and I need my doses to stay the same because it is working. As long as I have it all, it's working. And then it would just be really nice to solve the last third of the pain question. But yeah, that was mostly my week. Really, really excited about having a humidifier. I plugged that in, and about an hour later, the bedroom was so much nicer to breathe in and be in. And I woke up this morning for the first time without feeling like I had a sore throat. And yeah, it's like little things that I didn't realize I needed until I didn't have them. And now I have them. Like, I have a back support for this chair, and that has made my life so much easier. I got a footrest that is under my desk because I can't reach the floor when I sit because I'm 5 feet tall. So I need something to put my legs on that isn't always sitting cross-legged. And just this week was about getting like my pain managed through physical things that make my life easier. And there are a couple other things that I need to get in order to have kind of all of my mobility and pain minimization kit back together. I need a cane. I need a heating pad, some better winter gear, and I need a toaster oven. And then like everything will be so much easier. So we're getting there. It's been a month. I had therapy this week, and that was so helpful, and was something that my therapist suggested was that instead of like just kind of being irritated at myself for not knowing everything all the time, and for instead of like pushing myself so hard to just like get through this and figure everything out all at one time, to like one, take my time, and two, like just appreciate how much that I've done and have been doing, and like how far I've managed to come in the last like 3 weeks, because it has been rough. And I have managed to figure out how to get through checkout. I managed to talk to the Amazon delivery person in half English, half German the other day. I can like kind of communicate a little bit. I'm getting better at reading like some words. I can navigate around town. I am getting better at figuring out kind of like the weird unspoken social things and ways that you do stuff here. And like all of that is really hard, especially when like I've been in brain fog and fibroflare for weeks and weeks. So she was like, what if you just like took care of yourself and like appreciated everything that you've managed to do so far and everything that you've been doing? And so I started doing that, or trying to do that, I guess. And it's been helpful because I am notoriously hard on myself, and I feel like I have to know everything because if I don't, then I'm going to be in trouble. And like, if I don't get something right the first time, then I'm going to be in trouble. And every time I have like an interaction in German and I fuck up and I like mispronounce stuff, I always feel just like so ashamed because I don't know how to pronounce things. I still know how to pronounce things in American English. Like when I see a th, I assume it makes a th sound, but it doesn't. It makes just a t sound. So it's seeing letters that I recognize and not knowing how to put them together, or knowing how to put them together but having like a huge delay and like processing that information in time to actually like say it, right? So it's difficult, but also like the only person holding me to that impossible standard is myself. And maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe I can be gentle and like it will take me as long as it takes me, and Berlin is still going to be here and Germany is still going to be here like 6 months from now. Like I'm not going to miss anything by taking my time trying to adapt and acclimate and integrate. Like I don't have to be fluent in German this week. I'm not giving a speech to like 500 people in German where I have to suddenly like figure out how to say things. I'm just at home trying to, you know, get through the lonely hours. And my task for this next week and what I've been doing this week is trying to find an apartment to move into, because our lease at this place is up at the end of April, and finding an apartment is difficult. So the next challenge, now that I have scripts for my meds, is to figure out how to get an apartment and to use my partner's German sounding name and her whiteness to get not written off immediately when I apply, or when we apply rather, and to just like hope that we find a place that we can live at before the end of April. So I've been trying to take care of myself this week, and I had a Epsom salt bath yesterday afternoon, and that was really nice. And I'm gonna color more, and I'm just gonna try in between looking at apartments and emailing about apartments. I'm gonna try to be gentler to myself and to stop myself from feeling like I have to know everything all at once, because that's just not realistic. And I don't need that. So that's what I learned this week, and tune in next week to see how far I've come in housing and being nice to myself and getting over the loneliness. Like laying on the metal?